Oh, yeah.
Greetings, Kerbal Killers. Welcome. Going to be having a little bit more, well, hopefully fun tonight. We're continuing where we got up to last night. In the very early hours of this morning, we finally got the Mega Shuttle into orbit. However, we had an issue on landing. Basically, we blew up the runway. Yeah. So we're going to do it again. Thank you for the follow. If my bot will please keep up. Uh-oh, here we go. Well, my chat overlay is not working. Great. And it looks like the bot is on strike again. Which I'm going to restart the bot while I've got a moment. You could just use the other runway, you mean the grass right next to it. Come on, bot. An update's available. Uh-oh. Oh. Nope, doesn't want to do the update. Okay. Right, well my bot needs to catch up with everything. And as you can see, I touched down at the start of the runway and boom. Yeah, there's not much left of it. So we're going to relaunch it. Now, bear with me and I will talk you through this. As soon as I get this thing airborne. Basically, the bigger and biggest series takes one element that people always love to build in KSP and makes one bigger and then makes it bigger again, and then finally we make it so big that we not only set the record but we also make it so that nobody is going to try to break the record because nobody's quite as insane as me. Thank you for the follow, Overlord, and there was two others before that which unfortunately I didn't catch. My apologies. Everybody that follows me gets an automatic follow back, regardless of whether you stream or not. Yeah, when you see this you won't call it a lawn dart. There we go, the bot's finally updated with those in chat. Wonderful. So the objective of a shuttle is, of course, to take a payload up to orbit and be able to take the same weight in payload back down again. Now, those that were watching last night may have seen something similar to this. But oops, too far. But yeah, this is bigger than the VAB again. The wingspan is also slightly bigger than the runway. Various mayhem, as far as I'm aware, there is no limit like that. Spazmeister, thank you for the follow. So, we are going to launch this. Now, because of its complexity and the fact that, well, we still have a launch clamp bug, and I'm not using launch clamps, which means I have to do something slightly funky to get this thing to not blow up the launch pad. So just bear with me, I will explain it as I'm going through. Right, we're going to go into Alt F12. And we're going to hack the gravity. This will allow the rocket to settle on the launch pad nice and gracefully. Now, I'm zooming out. SP, whenever you're ready to behave yourself, what the... Oh, it's this bug. Uh-oh. Hang on, guys. I've got this bug again. Oh, wonderful. I've got a view bug. Where is it? You're in here somewhere. Just give me a second, please, chat. Oh, I really hate it when this bug kicks off. The thing is, I've just updated all my mods to the current version. Oh dear, I'm starting to wish I hadn't. Okay, let's leave it on the pad temporarily. And go back to the Space Center. Hopefully when I come back to it, it'll sort itself out. If not, this could be a problem. But, or KSP could crash. That works as well. Right, just one moment, I need to go and save the logs. So, the big version of the shuttle carried 2 orange fuel tanks full of LFO, which totaled 72 tons. The bigger version carried 4 orange fuel tanks, totaling 144 tons. The one that you just saw, although through a very weird view, doesn't carry 4 orange fuel tanks, doesn't carry 6 orange fuel tanks. Oh. That's not good. One of my CLR browsers just crashed. from OBS. Lovely. Doesn't carry 6, doesn't carry 8. It carries 16 orange fuel tanks full of fuel, which means it has a total payload capacity of 576 tons. Now bear in mind that it doesn't burn the liquid fuel and oxidizer that's in the orange tanks, because that's its payload. Those tanks are locked and prevented from being used. It also means I can't transfer the fuel around. I'll go and reinitialize both my CLR browsers. One. That's the other. So we're just going to go ahead and restart KSP again, which is not what I wanted to be doing, but oh well. So, the test is basically obtain a 200-kilometer circular orbit, or at least as close as possible, and then deorbit and land back at the KSC. Now, considering the runway's affinity to set off a couple of megatons of plastic explosives underneath me every time I'm trying to land, I think I'm going to be landing next to the runway, since we already have done a field landing. However, I should warn you, this thing is big, there is a lot of parts and the frame rate is quite low. So this will take some time to fly, and most of it will be fully automated. The good thing is, I will be able to answer a lot of chat questions and explain things, which is always a good thing. Cantab, yep, definitely could go with ore tanks. The wings should be able to carry that. Don't see why the backbone wouldn't be able to either, considering some of the G's I've been able to pull in it. Just not quite sure about doing it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Just had another KSP crash. Why do I get a sneaky suspicion that one of the mods that I've installed is not behaving itself? Tell you what, good opportunity here to show you how to debug log files. Let me re-jiggle my desktops. Right hand monitor. Oh yes, everything in one go. So, this is the start of the KSP log file. So I'm going to explain things step by step. The first thing that we need to look for is any errors. So I'm using Notepad++, you don't have to. Notepad++ is however free. You can use standard Notepad, WordPad, Microsoft Word, OpenOffice Word. If you're running Linux, you can use Emacs, grep if you must, Vi, Vim, whichever, take your pick. So, the reason why I like Notepad++, oops, is I can say find all in current document, and it'll give me a list. So, that's the first one. Modular fuel tanks has kicked off. The classes in the module cannot be loaded. Great. That means I've got to pull out modular fuel tanks. Where's my KSP install? Here we go. Bear with me. 01-07-2015-2240. Just making a copy of the log file, because I'm going to need to report this bug most likely. And it is modular fuel tanks. Great. Modular fuel tanks. Delete. Say goodbye. Right, that's that one gone. Next one. Exception loading scale editor. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now, is that... Nope, there. Tweak scales kicked off. That's interesting. That's the first time I've seen tweak scale kick off. Ah. Uh-oh. Well, I'm just wondering if... that one took out the other. So considering modular fuel tanks was first to have an issue, right, away it loads. Which you guys, I just realised you guys can't see that. You're looking at the wrong screen. Should be looking at that one. I'm just having a look on the other screen to see if there's an update for modular fuel tanks and tweak scale. Various mayhem. The mod pack that I am in the process of creating adds even more resources. John Anton. Yep, you are indeed correct. Which is why I've pulled one out and not both. But so far, as you can see, it is loading. So maybe I picked the right one. Or maybe it's just going to start up. I'm going to go out to the launch pad and I'm still going to have the view problem. Let me know if the stream starts going weird. We've got a couple of thunderheads in the area, which may cause something weird to go on with my internet connection. Yep, there's an update for modular fuel tanks. So for those actually watching the stream and that want to know, oh no, KSP's just crashed. Oh, and we've got an unhandle exception information. Okay, face rig has crashed as well. And my chat has also gone as well. Aye. I get a sneak suspicion the Thunderhead is telling me to not stream tonight. Okay, I'm gonna drop face rig for the moment. Right, let's try KSP once more. Yeah, face rig crashed at the same time that KSP did, so I'm just wondering if there's some sort of issue going on between KSP and face rig. So up on screen is the list of my mods installed and the version that I'm using. Are you going to behave, KSP? Right, that's modular fuel tanks downloaded. Have a look for tweak scale. Is there an update available for tweak scale? June 26th, I would say that's a yes. Download from Kibble Stuff. I've got 221 installed. Oh, I have got the latest version. Okay, don't need to download that then. Well, it looks like KSP is actually behaving now. So I guess I had some sort of conflict there between FaceRig and KSP, which is highly confusing. I have been up to my neck in sorting out issues with other mods that I haven't even touched my own yet. Let's just say my versioning is quite unique. Or at least the way I do version info. First thing I notice is there's no ship on the pad. Boobos. Right, let's make sure there is no debris. For those that don't know, I am doing everything in a multiplayer server. At the moment, there's only me using it. The good thing is, there's a single command for removing debris. Right, we're going to go straight to the launch pad. And touch wood, that's going to solve the view issue. Moochie the cat. I've been running oak trees at KSI replacement services for quite some time, and I haven't found an issue. Well, kind of, mostly. The only issue that I've got with it is actually not caused by his mod. As soon as I can find which mod it is that's causing it, it will go bye-byes. Cantab, yes it is. In here right now it's somewhere close to 30 degrees. I was almost tempted not to stream tonight. But then again I thought of you guys and thought you'd miss me. You'd miss my insanity. Is that how heavy it was? I didn't even look. Yeah, my record heavyweight launch is actually 76 kilotons. Yeah, I could do if it was movable. I need to take a look and see what's going on with KSP, because KSP has now gone non-responding. Oh, fun. Something that I have just updated is causing problems within KSP. Yep, it's dead. Okay, so you guys get to see this. This is me live debugging a mod problem. So as soon as I can get KSP to actually close, please. There we go. That's the issue with the camera. Something Out Appliance hasn't been updated, and I've been running that for quite some time. That's the camera problem. That's a DMP update. But straight away, we've still got that coming up for tweak scale. So, first thing is, tweak scale goes bye-byes. There. Bye-bye. Right, what next? Wheel colliders, they're normal. Couple of textures not found in the update for extraplanetary launch pads. That's not a good start. That NRM file is still not fixed. That one's still not fixed. USI still has that issue, but then again I didn't update that. Oh, MacJeb threw an error. Greetings, Cooley. Oh, great. So, MacJeb's now kicking off. Okay. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, Squad still haven't fixed that one. Attack life support, okay. What's this one? Yep, that's fine. Yep, this is all the ships now complaining that procedural parts is not installed. which is fine. Yep, I know that's going to happen. I haven't had too many issues with tweak scale, thank God. That's interesting. See if there's any null refs. Oh god. AVC null reft. AVC null reft. What do all these have in common? What do all these have in common? I wonder if it's the KSP API extensions. Could it really be the API extensions? Ooh. Ooh, hang on a minute, guys. What version of the API extensions do I actually have installed? Just bear with me. I think we might be onto something here. .175. So oh, can't have them both in. Oh. Let's go put the previous version back in as well. And go and run. Now, when KSP starts up, it'll automatically overlay for me. Yeah, the yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. I just thought I actually kind of need tweak scale. There you go, it's complaining that KSP API extensions is out of date, which means it's picked up the previous version. I wonder if the latest version of KSP API extensions has an error, a bug. Okay, the only null ref I get now is with KSP AVC. So the add-on version checker is null refing. Looking good so far. There you go. I did leave tweak scale in, didn't I? Because not having tweak scale in this would be bad. Nope, I pulled tweak scale out. Great. Well, considering the only thing that null refed was AVC, I think I found the problem. I think there's a bug in the latest version of API extensions. Uh-oh. Really? Aki's killing these cables again. Right, so just bear with me. But we need to have tweak scale installed. Yeah, it's just about everything that I do is tweak scaled. And I've just noticed there's a new version of Module Manager. So install that, get rid of that one. Right, that's tweak scale installed. That's how quickly you can install a mod, by the way. So now let's go and start KSP. Yep, I know this is slightly on the weird side for a stream, but eh. So that's interesting. Latest version of no. The mods that haven't been updated might be the ones kicking off with API extensions. Yes. Right, check the version. Tweak scale 221. Now there's the latest version. Unfortunately, it's now going to completely rebuild its Module Manager cache. Probably because I've updated Module Manager for 1 and installed Tweak Scale for 2. It won't take a mo. Oh, that reminds me, for those in chat, if you need to get my attention while I'm swapping these screens, chat may get hidden. So if you need my attention, just type in the letters CW and it will bleep and highlight your message. Pro Rookie, yep, that means it won't go past 4 gig. Greetings, Falcons fan. How are you tonight? Well, that's good so far, Connect. I wonder if we fixed the problem. Although we still have a problem with chat. Let me go and reinitialize it. On-screen chat, I should say. I have no idea what that processor is, basically. It's an Intel crappy processor, well that's probably why. Oh, that reminds me, my PC specs are in my profile if you scroll down the page for those viewing from a PC. Mass 12.395 tons. Right, go to the launchpad, please. Well, currently where I am, it is 23 degrees Celsius, 81% humidity. Yeah. In other words, it's like a sauna. Right, let's go ahead and hack gravity. There we go. I think I've fixed it. Thank you for the follow, Falcons fan. Much appreciated. And just to reiterate, everybody that follows me gets an automatic follow back from me, regardless of whether you stream or not. I like to share the love. So you can see this thing relative size to the pad. This is the fully upgraded pad. It's not small. Now I think I can get away with doing this. There is the orange fuel tanks. They are of course 2.5 meter fuel tanks. And just to select one at random, there's the LFO amount and they are locked off. But that's not all. There's another set of fuel tanks underneath as well. Cargo bays with fuel tanks in, I should say. So yeah, this is a heavy lift. But I'm measuring this by total mass of payload rather than weight of shuttle itself. So we're going to activate throttle controlled avionics. It's one mod that I love, probably more than I love MechJeb actually, thinking about it, as bad as that actually sounds, you know. And we're going to engage the launch pad, open up the window, hit space to launch, and as soon as the engines fire we can unhack gravity. So as you can see by the frame rate, this is going to take a while. Now, what does throttle controlled avionics do? Well, as you can see, the thrust limiter on these set of engines is going up and down. Basically, throttle controlled avionics varies the amount of throttle on the engines to basically keep the thing going where you want it to go. So basically, if you try and pull back, any engines on the bottom will be spun up to full power and the engines on the top of your craft will be spooled back again. So it creates a differential thrust to pull you over. Or should I say pull you over faster. Now on things like turbofans, they generally tend not to change speed that quick in thrust output. What speed am I doing? Yeah, thought so. Good news is, even if I change the throttle here, which is the master throttle, it will change the total throttle output of all the engines. So it's actually quite handy. Now, pro rookie, that's not very nice. You behave. Don't make me bang both your heads together. You know I'll do it. Well, let's put it this way. I've got a quad core, and you've seen me peggle for processors. Now, guys. Okay. Here's my warning. Be nice with each other. Otherwise, I'll give everybody a 10-minute timeout. Okay, not everybody, but there's 3 people I'm looking at the moment. So, that's my warning. Oops. Uh-oh. There we go. Now, at the moment in the atmosphere, because of the sheer amount of wing area that's on this shuttle, any slight variance to the angle of attack relative to the airflow, and it starts wanting to pull around all over the place, especially at this speed. So once, however, we get up to like 20-odd thousand, when we start pitching over, it will of course behave. Of course, now that we're, well, basically slowing down and the dynamic pressure's dropping, it is also behaving itself. So that's one good mod, and that is throttle controlled avionics. Having it just sat there in the taskbar and being able to enabled at the push of a key has saved many rockets, because if you have a staging disaster on an onion stage ship and say you've got 8 radial mounted boosters that are multi-stacked, and one of the arms gets destroyed in a staging accident, you hit Y and throttle controlled avionics will automatically vary the thrust of the other engines. So it'll still, instead of pitching over and spinning wildly out of control because the thrust is imbalanced, it'll automatically rebalance the thrust for you, which means you'll just basically continue going up in a straight line, albeit with a slightly less TWR and delta V, but your Kerbals would survive. So if you're into launching a lot of multi-stage rockets or even multi-engine planes, you might want to consider throttle controlled avionics. Now if you like really big things like I do, then tweak scale is a must. Now, for those, which will be most of you, not running on a DMP server, you can also use welded parts. Not just UBO welder, but you can weld your own. Now, if you're building big wings like this, you can weld them together. Which basically then means that your wings would not really flex. But I never told you that. Shh. Secret. And no, I didn't do it with these wings. Because I'm running on a multiplayer server, so I can't do it. And the reason that I can't do it is because the server has to have the same parts that I do. And so does everybody else that plays on it. So me arbitrarily creating new parts that are welded together is not going to cut it. Does tweak scale change engine power? Yes, it does. If you take an engine from 1.25 meter to 2.5, it will rescale the thrust outputs in accordance with the change in engine diameter. And it will also change the weight of the engine. It does not change the ISP. So basically the engine will still be as efficient as it was before, it'll just have a bigger thrust output. But likewise it'll also consume a lot more fuel. Now I believe... Oops, I just realised I made a boo-boo. One moment. Now this thing has issues with roll, so don't worry about it rolling around all over the place. Basically, if I let MacJeb or even the stock SAS try and control this thing with elevons, then basically it starts waddling around all over the place from side to side. Right, I believe we can go full bore now. Have I heard of the game Gran Turismo? Yes. Played it a few times, not really into it. So for those that was not here at the start of the stream, just to recap, we are launching a massive shuttle with a lot of payload. We started off with a big shuttle capable of carrying 72 tons of payload in the form of 2 orange fuel tanks full of fuel. We then went with a bigger shuttle, which was capable of carrying 4 orange fuel tanks full of LFO fuel into orbit. And of course, back down again. And landed on the runway. This is now setting the record. And we're going to be setting it so high that only a complete nutcase like me would even consider trying to break it. We are taking up not 2, not 4, not 6, not 8, but 16 orange fuel tanks full of LFO, and we're fetching them back down again. Now last night, or should I say in the early hours of this morning, I successfully got this into orbit, did a successful deorbit burn, had a very successful approach to the KSC, Unfortunately, as soon as I touched down, the runway literally exploded, taking the shuttle with it. So this time we're going to land on the grass next to the shuttle. And once we have successfully stopped without anything exploding, that then means that we should have the record, which is the whole purpose of this. So just need to check up on certain fuel levels. Yeah, I thought as much. Well, yes, Curly, however, we're not allowed to use any of the fuel in the orange tanks. The fuel in the orange tanks is just there to simulate payload. So we're going by payload weight. Which, by the way, 16 orange fuel tanks is 576 tons of payload. The total weight of this thing launching is 12.6 kilotons, including payload. This thing is not light. Then again, none of my rockets are light. Which includes another one of my record-setting rockets that I launched that is 76 kilotons. And that launch is in my highlights within my channel. So if you're interested, feel free to go and watch. But not now, you're watching me. Well, this shuttle also has 4 turbofans, and the 4 turbofans are not the 1.25 meter stock turbofans, they are rescaled to 2.5 meters. And yes, they guzzle fuel like you won't believe. Also on this is 4 air brakes rescaled to 400%. Which actually I think is kind of small, but oh well. Have you thought about your next project? Well, I'm waiting on Kiss and Cass to get sorted. Actually, I can get rid of my right-hand monitor now. For it to basically become stable. At that point, I can then resume my insane colonization division efforts. If I pull up Kerbal Alarm Clock, you can see here I've got 20 days game time before I need to start to make course corrections and whatnot. So, still got plenty of time, so I'm not too worried about it. Now, if we set the record tonight, and yes, I've left it open for interpretation, then on the next series of Bigger and Biggest, we will be launching entire space stations in one go, as I promised Oak Tree 42 that I would do. Because on Saturday, Oak Tree 42 launched his space station in one go, as per the challenge from everybody in chat. Okay, see you later, Pro Rookie. So, one has to build the biggest space station and put it in orbit. I'll have to get the specs of what Oak Tree put into orbit, but I don't see any issues with building something bigger, both physical size and mass. Right, so this wants to do a circularization burn. However, while it is using RCS to move, we need to change fuel, because I want to drop those two boosters now, and that one. So I'm literally going to transfer out of all the space-wide boosters. And then start detaching. So as you can see in there, the Jumbo 64 fuel tanks, which is the orange tanks, are still at 100%. Oops, not that one. So all we're now doing is transferring the fuel from the booster section into the shuttle. So that's the oxidizer. Right, that's all of the fuel done. Uh-oh, you're on time warp. Hang on. I need to turn auto warp off. I thought it was turned off, but never mind. Right, liquid fuel has been transferred. Let's have a look at oxidizer. Well, we're full on oxidizer in the shuttle, which again is a worry because we seem to be burning more liquid fuel than we should be. Aye. Oh well. Right, now we start separating. So, boosters first, and then we're going to use the RCS to thrust upwards and away. Like that. There we go, pretty much clear. And now we're going to release the main tank and again thrust upwards. Main tank successfully released. Oops, slight DMP glitch. And again we're thrusting upwards and away with the shuttle. Are you caught on something? Or are you just being a pleb? I think it's just being a pleb. Oh, another DMP glitch. Well, now that it's floating away, we've still got 2 minutes before we need to do the circularization burn. So we should be fine so far. Now, on-screen chat still not playing ball. I'm going to leave face rig off for the time being. Although I'm pretty sure it's the KSP API extensions causing all the problems, but still. I'm going to enable auto warp. And then we sit and wait for it. To put it bluntly, yes. And of course, to distinguish myself from every other streamer out there, because nobody builds this stuff except me. So what would you rather me just play normal career and launch itty bitty rockets? Excuse me. LG stream. Not quite sure where that came from. I mean, you guys tell me. I just think it's more entertaining for me to build something big and go through the rigmarole of making it work, or should we say the big crashes and the big explosions and big debris fields and okay, perhaps I haven't warned everyone this stream session, but my bot is armed, and certain bad language will get you an automatic 10-minute timeout, Pento. Let's see if we can get a little bit more performance out of this. I believe we're in orbit. Or at least getting there. Yes, that number of Kerbals is possible. However, why would you want to? My new version of Kerbitats hold about 40 Kerbals, and the majority of them are all going to be engineers. And the only reason why I'm actually putting in so many is because I'd rather have too many than too little, and have to send another Kerbitat with Kerbals in across the galaxy. Or should I say galaxy. Okay, that's good enough for me. Right, so more or less a 200k orbit. Is everybody happy with the 200k orbit? Because the next step is to do a deorbit burn. And the first thing I noticed is that it hasn't loaded my planetary configs. There we go, that's better. Is there anybody in my chat at the moment that hasn't seen my nightmare level Kerbal verse? Oh, Oak's plans for colonisation are going to be quite impressive, guys. And so am I. Finnish Army hasn't, and various Mayhem hasn't. Okay. Well, as some of you will have guessed by now, my abilities within KSP are quite considerable. The normal game, easy, medium and hard, are really no challenge for me. So, I changed the Kerbal verse to make things difficult. That over there. Oh, yeah. So, even just going out a little bit, there is an orbit here that you won't recognise. That's Gilly. Gilly got moved. It is now in a highly eccentric orbit with a perigee of about 850 kilometers above Kerbin's surface, which causes no end of trouble with satellites. The Mun got moved further out, so it's more in an orbit closer to what Minmus was. However, Minmus is now in a polar orbit, very low polar orbit around the Mun. It's in a 1 million meter orbit, or 1,000 kilometer, which again, you have to be very, very careful with your satellites. Otherwise they will have a general tendency to get thrown out of orbit. The red planet that you can see over here is one that I created in a tutorial that can be found in my highlights. It is planet CW. Still haven't figured out why the surface texture is not actually matching the actual terrain, but still, it has writing on it that says Planet CW, keep out. You might be able to see elements of it. But You get the idea. And that's my own custom planet. So if we zoom out even further now, let's get rid of showing asteroids because everybody has them. Let's get rid of that one, and that one, and that one. So up here we have Moho in quite an interesting orbit. That is Eve. At first glance you would say that that's in its original stock orbit. It's not. It's actually orbiting the Sun the opposite direction to everything else. So, Duna is now in a polar orbit around the Sun. Dres is over here in another eccentric orbit. We've got Val in that type of orbit. There's Tylo. There's Sarnus from the Outer Planets mods. There's Bop. There's Erlem. There's, I think we mentioned Pol, but Tylo. There's Elu in a eccentric polar orbit. Bear in mind, Elu altitude is, I think, pretty much the same as what it was in the stock, except I've just kicked it up into a more polar orbit. So that's where Elu is. That's the scale of your Kerbalverse. Mine's bigger. There's Needon, again from the Outer Planets mods. Over here is Plock, also from the Outer Planets mods. And Jewel, with the only planet that's orbiting Jewel, which is Lathe, is right out here. So if we have a look at this, sort of side on, I think most people will agree that that is somewhat difficult to get to planets. The objective of this, of course, is to get to Lathe. Now, yes, I could be boring and build something to burn directly for it, straight from the KSC, and then time warp for about 10 years. But where would be the fun in that? The objective is basically to colonize every single planet, every single moon, and then expand out to Lathe. Each planet has new sets of resources, which includes things like sulfur, trace levels of water, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and basically these form the building blocks of basic propulsion systems. So if you combine nitrogen and oxygen, you get nitrous oxide, which is also known as NOS in the racing community. It is an oxidizer. Cantab. Not yet. I'm thinking about putting it in a mod pack, but I'd need to get permission to do it first. Now, nitrogen, water, and various other chemicals combined together can create various assortment of fertilizer for plants, etc. And if you grow plants in a greenhouse, which really should be renamed to Purple House because the plants are now purple, you will get food and oxygen for TAC life support. Now, in addition to these, there are other special resources that have been created. These include wonderful compounds such as heavy metals, which are basically fissionable metals, various mayhem, fertilizer, yes, a bit like that. So that's heavy metals. We also have explodium, which predominantly can be found on Eve in the Explodium Sea. Look at the biome list. The liquid that's on Eve is called the Explodium Sea. So I basically made a resource called Explodium, which I think you can use your imaginations and work out what it's for. And then I also created the resource Unobtainium. Yeah, that one's going to come as a surprise. Unobtainium is, like its very name, unobtainium. Or I should say unobtainable. Well, USW, one person has already had a 10-minute timeout from the bot. So, now what we're going to do, going back to the shuttle here, is we need to come in on a very, very, very shallow re-entry. So we have trajectories installed. Nope. In which we're not actually doing too bad here. Slightly shallower. There we go. Now, trajectories doesn't take into account that we can glide. So we want our impact marker to be a considerable amount short of the KSC, which is basically that, pretty much. So we're going to tell NetJeb to go and execute the maneuver. And bring us out of orbit, please. Unobtainium sounds familiar. Yes, it does. The film The Core heavily featured unobtainium that was used to make a worm-like craft for basically going to the centre of the Earth. Cantab. Pretty much, yes. Which of course means that a craft has to be built to go and get it. Strangely enough, there are several gas giants now within my Cableverse, courtesy of the Outer Planets mods. It is, yes, but what can I say? You know, it actually is kind of fitting, really, considering what I would have to go through to get hold of it. Cantab, yes I have. However, it really doesn't make any sense. Well, it would have to be a super resource, because the amount of Delta V required to get a ship down there, collect it and get it back again, even just to, like, Moho, is completely ridiculous. So we're now doing a deorbit burn. Now there's one other resource I always fail to mention. We know in real life there are a various assortment of plasmas floating around in space. Was it the Curiosity? No, it wasn't the Curiosity, that's the rover. What was it the Viking? One of the probes that's now hit the outer edge of our solar system started picking up weird noises. And this was attributed to plasmas. So a plasma floats around in space. You might want to Google it if you don't know what a plasma is. So basically I created the resource space plasma and assign it to be floating around space. Greetings, Chronic Offender. Okay, 0.7 meters per second, that's fine with me. So, with Voyager, that was it. So, with specialised collectors, i.e. Bussard ram scoops, we can then grab these plasmas, sort them out, and yep, pretty much. And use them for propulsion, life support, whatever. Right, we need the smart SAS, surface mode, heading 90 degrees, pitch. Actually, we'll set the pitch to 0, roll to 0, execute. So, what I can do is to fire a ship off to a planet and have a couple of Bussard ram scoops and collect the space plasma and refuel itself as it's going. Of course, said equipment is of course big and bulky and heavy. Not to mention awkward to build with. But, of course, I manage it. Of course, custom resources is one of the things that I've shown people how to do, especially in KSP 1, where Regolith is now stock. Of course, resources can be assigned to a planet's atmosphere or any biome on a planet, or any planet as a whole, thinking about it, which also includes bodies of liquid. So, strangely enough, the waters at Kerbin actually have water in them now. And so do the poles on Kerbin. And you know the white stuff that's on Elu? Strangely enough, that's just frozen water. And you know, Minmus has a green snowy glow. Well, I don't recommend that Jeb eats it. It's not mint ice cream. It's actually a combination of frozen water and liquid oxygen and a bit of nitrogen. So I really don't recommend that he eats that. He might be hazardous to his health. And I've just realised my OBS chat is now working. Oh god. I should time you out for that one. Of course, Lathe has plenty of water on it. Of course, it is actually water. What other planets have bodies of liquid? Well, now, if you're thinking, is this really real? Well, just look up the composition of planets in our solar system, and you will get a very detailed analysis of what chemicals are actually there on the surface. These include oxides, nitrides, hydrocarbons, stuff like that. So really there's no reason why they can't be broken down into usable resources. Even planets with a lot of carbon dioxide, you can run carbon dioxide through basically an air recycler to split the carbon from the oxygen and get rid of the carbon, or put it in a tank. Now, for those that have noticed, yes, I am running remote tech. However, I do not have faster than light communications turned on, because I believe that's cheating. That's my personal belief, and that's the way I'm going to play the game. However, I make use of remote tech outposts All of my Kerbitats that go out are remote tech outposts. All of my EPL platforms are remote tech outposts, which means I have local control around the planet. So basically, I really don't struggle that much with signal delay. So now we're going to fast forward to atmospheric interface here. That satellite's getting a bit close. Oh, we're gonna miss it, just. That was hab test. That should have been deleted. Oh well. Oh, can't tab. Now, for those that are thinking that is a very shallow re-entry, in which I'm going to be on fire for a long time, you're right, I am. We are not aggressive air braking. We actually want to slow down nice and gradually, because this thing with this much weight, if we come in too steeply, you can kiss goodbye to the wings. So we need to literally come down onto the atmosphere, settle onto the atmosphere, and slowly slow down. Well, the good thing is we won't be in the dark much longer. See you later, Cantab. So don't mind me, you can hear Skype going off. That's me communicating information to fellow streamers and getting information from fellow streamers. Things like trolls that are running around and things that have gone on and whatnot. Now, for those of you sat there thinking, oh my god, how long is this going to take? It's going to take a while, and there's nothing I can do about it. Not only are we running at a very slow frame rate, but we cannot use physics warp. The reason that we can't use physics warp is because that is red, which means it's already running at maximum simulation rate. So unfortunately there is nothing we can do here. But we have a playlist. Oh, there it is. Just a quiet bit. And we have... Chatterer, to keep us entertained. No, I'm kidding. If you got any questions, chuck it up in chat. Because this is going to take probably half an hour. Is my guess. Well, no, it might not be that long. The fun bit comes towards the end when we start getting lower down. So around about 25 kilometers up, if memory serves. And I actually have to turn Smart SAS off and fly manually. The simple reason being that the SAS just cannot fly this thing. It's great for RCS, which is an instant off and on power, but when you have, and we're starting to warm up by the way, but when you have control surfaces and you're flying via control surfaces and those control surfaces take time to move from one setting to another, it doesn't compensate properly, basically. Jen Anton, actually no, there's quite a few trolls that run around KSP. Plus also, I'm known to Minecraft as well, because I stream Minecraft in the afternoon. Except for this afternoon, where it was like 30 something degrees in here, because the sun was shining on the back wall, and it was basically turning this room where my computer equipment is into a freezing sauna. So I decided not to spend 2 hours in here in one go. So at some point I will have to catch up. Which reminds me, while I've got people here, within the last 2 weeks or well, should say within a week either side of today, is my birthday. And I decided I'm going to do a birthday special stream this coming Saturday, basically for all my viewers. Saturday afternoon, obviously weather permitting, I will be doing an extra Minecraft stream, which will be U-rated as per usual. After an hour's, never mind what day, after an hour's break or so, I will then be switching the stream into mature content. I will be displaying a warning sign saying that it's mature content, and then I'll be streaming some games. The bot will of course be lobotomized, and my moderators, they will be gagged and handcuffed. So some of the games that I will be playing: Danton, you can find my local time by typing in a certain command into chat. I wonder if you can find what that command... There you go. So, yes, it's the 2nd of July. Me? Right now, so this coming Saturday, I will be playing games such as Quake 4, Insane, Command & Conquer Tiberium Wars 3, and maybe a few others in a great big long stream. Basically all the games that I love and haven't played for God knows how many years. Which is actually quite funny because I used to be pretty good at Quake 4. Let's see how rusty I really am. Same goes for Command & Conquer Tiberium Wars 3. And as for those that like racing games, well, you will love Insane. So as you can see, there's an extra graph at the top. This is the indicator for the hottest part. So it shows the temperature of the hottest part. When it gets all the way over here, way into the red, the part explodes. So as a general rule, it's a very good idea not to let it get that far. I also have another one installed called Hotspot, which changes the F11 part colours to something a little bit more as you would expect. So at the moment we're yellow. But really don't need to use that actually. Yep, that was it, critical temp. I couldn't quite remember it off the top of my head. It was in my mods list anyway. Yep, considering CWBot has just mentioned it, Igor Peruskio, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Very good streamer. I definitely recommend that everybody give him a follow. He does stream KSP at the moment. He's got PC trouble, so he's streaming some other game that's like half, basically a similar version of 2D Minecraft, I think. So we're nicely over the deserts, 40 kilometers up, doing max 6.8. Not that the pro rookie is here to admire his work. The map gauge indicator there is of course by the pro rookie. Jananton, thank you for the follow. Go away. Now, I would always love to know with this thing how on earth I can have such a massive imbalance between liquid fuel and oxidizer. Cordua, thank you for the follow. Yes, we're going that way. With that one? Yes, I will butcher your names. As is every streamer's right. No, I'm just kidding. We try and get it right. So, while this bit is, well, semi-watchable, and I'm pretty sure the only reason why people are sticking around is to see if I'll vaporise the shuttle on re-entry. But anyone got anything they want to ask? Any advice? Anyone got any modding info? Chuck it up in chat. I run a fairly relaxed chat in the terms of topics. It's just this is a universal rated stream. So adult topics are definite no-no. But if it's KSP related, the amusing thing is, until they brought out female Kerbals, the topic of asexual reproduction was actually fair game. However, since they brought out female Kerbals, that topic, or the topic of reproduction for Kerbals, is off the carts, I'm afraid. Yeah, hopefully without the runway blowing up underneath us this time, we'll be able to successfully land. Because we've landed in a grassy area to the east of KSC when we didn't have enough Delta V to obtain orbit. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Those that are expecting me to vaporise the shuttle, I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed. Because of the large surface area of the wings, they actually have a general tendency to conduct a huge amount of heat away from the heated parts. So my shuttle has two giganimous heat radiators on them, basically. Sorry to disappoint you. But in my highlights, basically I use that for highlighting tutorials, i.e. how to do things, but also any landmark things that I do. Like for example the 76 kiloton rocket that I launched is highlighted in there. So this stream here, minus all the fun and games that we had right at the start, will also get highlighted in there, assuming we're successful. Now there's a couple of other mishaps on previous streams that are going to get highlighted. Why? Because they're absolutely hilarious. Now, the landing is going to be fun and games. I need a very long run on the landing. Because this thing is so heavy, I cannot use the wheel brakes too much. Otherwise it has a general tendency to spontaneously disassemble. So I have to deploy the air brakes, deploy the drag chutes, and then pulse the brakes, which is also why it's quite important to come in slowly. Speaking of which, we're still coming in a little bit too quick, so we're going to deploy the air brakes. Yeah, pretty much. Now what I don't like is the fact that our perigee is going up. And the reason that the perigee is going up is because of lift, basically. But that's okay, just angle the nose down a bit. What's the mod that adds the planets? It's called the Outer Planets mod, which comes with Copernicus. So the Outer Planets mod configures a load of planets, and Copernicus puts the planets in, basically. There is a tutorial on what you need to create your own planet. So we've got a 5 degrees nose down to make sure we don't skip out the atmosphere, because that would be bad. So we are of course getting quite hot here. Well, kind of. We're only 3/4 of the way up to critical, so up to the max temp. But at least our speed is slowly dropping. We are coming up to the last little bit of the desert before the crossing onto the KSC island. Well, it's not an island as such, but you know what I mean. KSC land, I'll do. Peninsula, that'll do. But if you notice, the max temp is actually quite stable. Right, now that our apogee is inside the atmosphere, we can go ahead and zero our angle of attack, or rather our pitch. And it's going to come to a point where I'm going to dump all of the oxidizer, except for what's in the payload, of course. This will lighten things up, make it glide better, so on and so forth. Finished. Did Outer Planets mod and Copernicus show up in Mini AVC? And I assume that you also have Module Manager installed. There we go. Our perigee is below 25 kilometers now. Jan Anton, as Unseen Whale has said, you can dump fuel and resources with TAC Fuel Balancer. You can also use it to pump fuel and resources around from tanks. It's this one up here. This lists all the tanks available for oxidizer. Now we've got liquid fuel there, and wastewater, waste, carbon dioxide, so on and so forth. So from that, if I click on one of these, I can go to dump, and it'll dump it overboard. So nice and casually does it. No rush whatsoever. We're travelling at Mach 6.6. Faster than a speeding bullet, probably. And just out of curiosity, where does trajectories rate that we're going to come down? Oh, bang on the KSC apparently. Now, isn't that interesting? Did you install it correctly, Finish? There we go. Upcoming mountains. Now, why do I have a sneaky suspicion that I'm slightly high and slightly fast? Oh well. Finish. Have you installed other mods before? Right. Well, this is actually kind of coming up for a rather awkward bit. I have to keep an eye on it. However, do I have it in here? No, it isn't. It must be in a 102 directory. Right, Outer Planets mod 1.7 beta 2 is the one that I think I'm running. So, you want to copy all of those 3 directories and make sure you have a decent version of Module Manager. Don't worry about those text files, just those 3 directories are what needs to be copied into game data. I assume you don't even have those, then you've downloaded the wrong thing. So you need to have another look for the proper download. You've probably downloaded all the source code, in which case you need to pull all of that back out again. It looks like, according to the hills, we should be more or less lined up for the KSC. Really? Right. Copernicus should come with... Oh, yes, you'll need to download that separately. But that's the forum thread. And for reference, I use the community mods and plugins library. John Anton, well, yeah. Finnish Army, the version that I shown might have been slightly different. Just bear with me. I am way too high here. This could get interesting. Right, Finnish Army, it works. Right, wonderful. That means I can concentrate on the game now. Yeah, we're looking a little bit on the high side here. I don't remember being this high passing over the mountains last night. At Mach 6. Touchdown speed, we want to be no faster than 80 meters per second. Hopefully we can do that. Actually, I just had a thought. I'm landing on the grassy area next to the runway. I'm gonna have to be careful that I don't run... Shut up! That I don't run into the monolith. That's not a good idea. Not in something this big. Yeah, sometimes Chatterer is brilliant, but when you're streaming and it starts talking over the top of you, you really feel like you want to wrap your hands around that Kerbal's neck and give it a good squeeze. Okay, yeah, way too high, way too quick. Okay. We need to do something about this. Something like this will do. Well, guess what? That jab is no longer capable of flying this. So, manual control. Uh-oh. Here we might have to overshoot this. Right, so start dumping oxidizer. It's going to get interesting. Good thing is, by waggling about like this, we are pulling off plenty of speed. Stamp on the rudder slightly. I'm afraid I can't read chat right now. I'm kind of doing two things at once. Flying a rather big heavy shuttle and dumping fuel. Which I might add, as I'm dumping the fuel like this, it makes it very unbalanced. So I'm going to just overshoot for a bit. Right, that's all the oxidizer dumped. Greetings, parabolic photon. Yep, got a few. Yeah, but the problem with that is, with having less mass, the wings produce more relative lift. Shut up! I'm talking. Right, I'm going to transfer liquid fuel out to the main core. It's still going to take a while. I'm going to keep the radial junctions full. But it means that once I'm getting close, I can dump the remainder of the fuel. Oh, for the love of God, down, will you? I've got the fun task of turning around. Yeah, and Immelman is definitely out of the question. Although I have managed to do barrel rolls in this thing. Completely and utterly by accident, of course. Oi. Oh, I should point out that my hands are not on the controls, and yet it's flying in a perfectly straight line. So why on earth the stock SAS and MechJeb cannot fly this thing in a straight line, I don't know. But anyway. Time to turn around. What is it that's actually giving me a warning? Oh, landing gear. We don't need that. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and belly land it. It'll be fine. Let's stop that high G turn, shall we? Wait, where are you going? You know, sometimes this will actually turn nicely. Today is not one of those days. Okay, the nose is far too heavy. That's getting a bit better. Even so. Oops, what did I just stage? I really have got to watch my thumbs. Oh, that's okay, that's the turbo fans. Okay, why on earth am I still nose heavy here? Right, that one's at the back. Alright. That one's at the back. And that one's at the back. And it's still nose heavy. Oh, that's getting better. There we go. Why do I have a sneaky suspicion that my flight path is going to take me right into the monolith? I assume everybody in chat knows about the monolith. Or the monoliths, I should say. But specifically the one right next to KSC. Good. Thank God for that. So this thing is now pretty much stable. All I'm doing is pulling the nose up. And maintaining a reasonable glide slope. And strictly speaking, this should be really, really, really tail heavy. And it should flip out like anything, but no. For some reason it's nose heavy. It's one of those things, isn't it? Oh dear. Please tell me you've watched Space 2001 and Space 2010. Please tell me you've watched those two films. If not, I highly recommend that you do watch them. So we need to pick our glide slope up a little bit here so that we can slow down. Yeah, this thing has an impressive glide slope, by the way. Oh, and that reminds me before I forget. Oh, come on. Gear down. Right, this time I will confirm that the gear does come down. There we go. Right, let's stop highlighting these parts, 'cause it's getting... Speaking of annoying, thank you. You know, I really hate the water because I always seem to get the illusion that I'm drifting to the side, usually to the left, and it is really quite disconcerting. Right, dump remaining fuel except the auxiliary jet fuel. I have to be really careful now because this is going to go really nose heavy. Speed rolling back. Applying air brakes to kill off some more speed. Does anyone know how to tie the air brakes to an action group? Because every time I try, it just resets it back to the normal. Right. Pulling up. Shoots. Watching AOA. Watching glide slope. Wait. Down. Keen ground effect. Knock that off. .47 meters per second. Approaching stall speed. You need to put this down pretty quick. Flipping the brakes to bring the air brakes back in. And we're down. 37 meters per second. No, wrong kid. Now, I can take my sweet time with stopping. There is no rush. At this speed, it will get quite happily up that mountain and keep going. Now that being said, anyone know where the nose gear went? Guys? We're missing the nose gear. That's a little bit of a problem. That means I've got to be very, 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 very ginger on braking. Because I have no idea where that nose wheel went. This doesn't make things difficult at all. Brakes on this landing gear are very... Yeah, whoever that was, really lousy timing. Stop now. Holy sweet. Do I even want to know how far off? Oh, I'm not far off the end of the runway. I could have continued rolling on for another couple of kilometers. Oh, and it was my bot that decided to disturb me at the bad timing. Well, Jonathan, if that was the case, why does it not show that the part was destroyed by overheating in the F3 log? That's what I want to know. So I'm gonna go for glitch on this one. But huzzah! I believe that gets us the title. So basically 3 hours and 10 minutes. And we successfully landed. Now the interesting thing is, these parts are showing red. anything attached to that is showing red. It's the Mark III battery. Yes, the Mark III battery is something that I have added to the game, because there was no Mark III battery. Yeah, the surface temperature for some reason isn't coming down, but the internal is at least. Why don't I just try to belly land it, parabolic photon? But there we go. That would be, I believe, me getting the record for the biggest shuttle. So, the next time you guys see someone flying a small itty bitty shuttle, you might want to point them towards my highlight where I fly this reasonably sized shuttle. Yes, I said reasonably sized. Just as friendly banter. Come on, go away. You know, it's a good job that I actually made this so that the excuse me, so that the middle landing gear is actually slightly too long, so it actually teeters between the front and rear wheels, isn't it? And don't forget, one last look at the cargo bays. And just of course to confirm that everyone oh god, I'm in the wrong view, aren't I? There we go. Just to confirm that there is still fuel in all of the orange. Yeah, I'm not doing the ones underneath. Orange tanks. I'll do you some random ones. I'll go on this side. Oh, okay, I'll do them all. Fine, you've twisted my arm. There we go. All the orange fuel tanks are full of fuel. Well, a load of screen caps. You don't know how glad I am that I finally finished that. Recover vessel. So the question is, what sort of time is it? 1:30 my time. Now the next challenge for Big, Bigger and Biggest is to send a space station up in one go. That's relatively easy actually. So just bear with me a moment. Okay, I'm back. So next up is a station. Now the problem is that I have a general tendency to just build really big stations right off the bat. And there we have a nice, wonderful, artistic view of the outside of the VAB. Now, I think I'm going to grab a reasonable time for going to bed, but we can have a look at doing stuff for a station here. Now that's actually the interesting bit, because I do have some interesting stationy parts. Yes, that is the technical term for it. Stationy. They look so small! So we've got various pressurized segments. Modular? Modular about it. Oh, cool. Ooh. Liquid hydrogen oxidizer. Although, to be honest, monoprop and electric charge, really? Eesh. And of course, we've got this. Goes on there, and I believe we can then put that one. Yeah, it's 2.5 meter. Can't supersize these, can we? No. Oh, it does have lights apparently. Not that we can see any lights. Oh well. So we've got all of these bits. That's 2.5 meter. Kind of awkward. Although, having said that, if we take this 6 Kerbal pod and put it there, and then if we go into utility, where is it? Here we go. Slight adaptation of one of the UKS parts. 3.75 meter curvatat, and then we take that there. That's 18 cables. That could look interesting. Take up. Not bad on tonnage as well. Yeah, could be quite interesting to work with this modular girder stuff, send it all up in one go. Although I don't reckon much to the LFO tanks though. What else do we have in here? We do of course have the OKS stuff, but you know that Oak's done that, so try to stay clear of using the same types of parts. Tubes. Oh, of course, yes, we've got the windowed hull stuff in from Lackluster Labs. Now that could get interesting. If I do that, rerouted the part, take that off, oh well, at least I can rescale it. Oh wait, we need one of these. I could do a funky station like that. In fact, that actually gives me an idea. That's given me a very interesting idea. Let me mull this one over, guys. Yep, I definitely like this idea that I'm having. Although the question is, what's that going to do to our part count? Although that being said, I could create a custom part that is a load of stuff welded. Denominator, you have just missed the shuttle landing, I'm afraid. Well, the thought that I'm having now is actually with my colonisation effort. Denominator, the actual flight of the shuttle will be highlighted probably in the morning my time. So if you want to see it, or even just the end, which is probably the most exciting bit really, then you should be able to grab it sort of tomorrow onwards and take a shufty. Although I just have had a thought, stupid me, why have they got a hex adapter there? There we go. Actually, I've just had an interesting thought. We're going for big, right, aren't we? No, that's the wrong way around. Oops. How's that happened? Alright, what's my memory usage here? Ah, 3.4. Should be good for a bit. Right, do I have... There it is. Oh, the nodes are wrong. Oop, that needs to be moved up a bit. I know what I can use to move that up. 2.5 meter, isn't it? I really don't look too good. Although that could be scaled up. I mean, obviously this thing has got to look good. Not to mention be really big as well. This one. Oh, yeah, you can ignore that. Ah, that's the pressurized one. It's that one that I want. I keep forgetting there's pressurized and unpressurized. that the way around? No, it isn't. Of course not. Well, I kind of don't like the way that looks. Oops. There we go. That looks better. Now the last time I used these HAB centrifuges, it killed my frame rate. I'm not looking forward to that. Well, that's annoying. I could have sworn they went together. Wait, I've just had a thought. There we go. Now, that reminds me, what I also want to do, before I move away from that area. Oh, too late. Lost it now. There we go. Now, not quite sure how I'm going to do this. Where is... Oh, they're radiator panels. Where are my end panels for the greenhouse? Ah, yeah. Go on, KSP, where have you put them? Oh, I've got those as well. Forgot about them. Oops. These ones look like. That's snazzy, aren't they? Yeah, I don't like the old one. Oh. Can I supersize them? Nope, of course not. But they do come with lights in them. Okay, I'm thinking add tweak scale to them. And they'll be good to use. Or did I put them in structural? Ah, I might have put them in structural. You Dumbo. There we are. That's 4x2. Where's the 8x4? Here. Well, they go on to there. The problem is there's no node on the outer of them. So I need to go and put a node on in the configs. So I think you guys get the idea of where I'm going here. So what do you think so far? Now don't forget, this isn't all that we're going for. Because we do need something not only with considerable mass, but also quite big. I'm going for something bigger than the VAB. But it's just a case of building it up right now. Now don't forget, these centrifugal hubs will spin. So I could have them spinning in opposite directions if I wanted to. So I wanted to put some a load of nodes on those end plates anyway. So this gives me the excuse to go and do it now. Now I also want to put some nodes on the bottom of the greenhouse. Yes, that's a greenhouse, by the way, and it's got plants in it. And yes, the plants are purple. I decided to recolour them purple. Will they clear each other? Well, I might put something in there to make them clear. But the actual collision meshes, well, there isn't any, basically. Because it's on the same ship, then they won't collide with each other. Or at least the game won't consider them colliding. One Piece Station. We'll call it the Mark 1. So we're not far off being bigger than the VAB. So more to add on. I've got fuel tanks yet to go on, and storage tanks and whatnot. So, but that is all from me. So let's see who's streaming. Has anyone got any questions in the meantime while I'm looking for someone to host? Oh, I can't resist this one. Oh, guys, I'm wondering if I can ask a favour. I've just noticed that two people are, well, one is doing space shuttles, space stations and space, and another person doing real scale shuttles. Anyone fancy being mischievous? He says, grinning. So, I think we'll raid Shimmy. He's doing real scale shuttle, question mark. I think that would be a good raid. So let me set it up. I guess it must be National Shuttle Day. So, go forth, go raid Shimmy the JJ, and tell him CW raid, and then tell him that CW just launched a great big massive shuttle. What was it? Hang on. 12.6 kilotons on the pad, carrying a cargo of 576 tons. Feel free to mention that to him. What mods do I use for those pink things? You mean the purple thing? The greenhouse is from Lackluster Labs, and I recoloured the DDS texture for the plants from green to purple. It may get released as a mod or something similar. But anyway, go forth, raid Shimmy, and see just how big of a shuttle he's actually building for me, if you would be so kind. But that's all from me. Tomorrow night we will be continuing with this station, because we did a deal with the oak tree and he put a station up in one go, and we're going to have to do better. Lots better. Bye from me. Parabolic photon, that is correct. That's all from me. Take care, have fun, and I'll see you tomorrow, or today for me. Bye for now.